Hi, I'm Peter from Coffee Parts, and I'm talking to Manfred Jokuszies to talk about the journey that was from the kitchen bench to the company that's now Crema Pro, which are these. So Manfred, in 2002, your wife was at home making coffee for you on your espresso machine, and she was scrubbing out the portafilter baskets with a spoon and basically damaging the baskets every time she made coffee. And you ran off to the hardware, came back with a bit of pipe, a jigsaw, some glue, and built this.
Our first product. So that was created in 2002, and Claire, it was solely just made for our personal use. Claire saw a tremendous potential in this and kept on at me saying that I should be producing it commercially. And I had no interest.
At the time you were a pastry chef.
I'm a pastry chef, yes.
Yeah.
And we had a very, very busy cafe in Launceston, 120-seater.
Yeah.
And we had that business for 6 years. And in those 6 years, we achieved 3 times best cafe restaurant in Tasmania. And that's not because of us. Also, we had very good staff, which helped us to get to that goal. Claire, kept on at me to do something about this, as it was such a good idea. And there was nothing at that time on the market.
She's been proven right.
She's been absolutely proven right. And without, if Claire had not been telling me, I would still be, well, I'd probably now be retired.
Yeah.
A retired pastry chef. But in 2000, so we then had a design registration put on this product to protect us from copies. And in 2003, November, we had our first consignment of product arriving from Victoria to be assembled in Tasmania.
These at the time were being made in Australia.
It was made in Victoria. The first we're buying out of Victoria probably for the first probably 8-9 months, and then we found a local producer in Georgetown, Tasmania, who was then started to make these 175 millimeter ones for us.
So it went from this, the kitchen bench, to these being made in Australia.
That's right. And we also introduced, because only selling one product within Australia at that particular time, we needed more items than just one item. So we introduced the cocoa shaker into our line and a measuring spoon, those 3 items. In August 2004, we sold our first pallet to New Zealand.
Yeah.
So in 2005, we sold our first pallet to the UK.
Yep.
So we had 2 markets, New Zealand and UK. And our UK customer was then selling our product to Harrods in Knightsbridge. And a Swedish distributor of coffee machines went to Harrods to have a look, because Harrods had the largest amount of different espresso machines.
Yep.
And he found our 175 millimeter knock tube. He contacted us by email.
Yep.
And expressed interest. Unfortunately, in 2005, copies started arriving on onto the Australian market. Most of them already were made in China, while ours was still being made in Australia.
Basically, it was a really quick journey, or it may not have felt quick to you, but from 2002, building this in the kitchen, to 2003, getting manufactured in Australia. 2004, you pretty much started exporting to New Zealand, England, Switzerland, I think Sweden, and Greece came later. And then by the time 2008 came, you were doing the kits for KitchenAid. So it was a pretty big growth. And My dad had actually started buying from you in 2004 in Australia. And at the time, I remember as a kid, just stacking the shelves in the warehouse, and I just liked the colors because these came in, now they come in black, gray, red, and orange. But at the time, I think they came in more colors.
8 colors.
8 colors, that's right. And I remember stacking them, and now they come in a box. At the time, I think they were coming loose. So
Yeah. That was because your father wanted to have them back, sent loose because cheaper to send.
that's right.
More in a box.
Not surprised. My dad, we'll probably call it now being environmentally friendly. But yeah, I remember as a kid just stacking them, and obviously over the years we've been selling this since effectively your inception, since 2004. And you're right, I have seen a lot of products coming to the market, some beautiful in their own right, some questionable in quality and ethics. But one thing I have noticed with you is you've always just pushed forward, no matter what the noise was doing from the outside. You were able to move your manufacturing from Australia to China to be competitive, and you've constantly increased the range, and you've stayed on top of the products, so releasing new products as they started trending. So the range now is quite solid, both domestic and commercial. But what I found more interesting was how you moved from a pastry chef, you know, and a lot of businesses now being started by people in their 20s. You're a bit older, but you're able...
Only a bit older.
Only a bit older, but you're able to really grow it. And I think you're very humble in the way you talk, but it's pretty much an international company now. It's based out of Asia. It's supplying most markets in the world. I feel like if I go to the Middle East, I see distributors of yours. If I go to Italy, I'm very close with your Italian distributor. I'm close with your New Zealand distributor. I go to the UK, I'm close. I feel like no matter where I go, people I know are distributing your products. So it's been epic to kind of see your growth. It's been a beautiful journey, and I still can't believe, looking at this product here, the journey that has taken you, obviously Crema Pro, the business, Coffee Parts, and everyone on. It's just, to me, it's beautiful looking at the beginning of something, and now in retrospect or in hindsight, looking back at the journey. And I believe it's been such a beautiful journey. And one of the things I've always noticed, and this goes back to the business you had before, the cafes, and to now, one thing that's always been awesome is your team. No matter who I've emailed, whether it's you or your team in China, the team are just so proactive, so spot on. Things are just, the invoice is right every time. Like, it's been one of the most pleasurable experiences.
Thank you.
I'm gonna say that all my suppliers are like that because I want, but it's definitely some are easier to deal with than others, and it's been an absolute pleasure. So for that, I want to say thank you.
No.
And thank you for always being a friend as well.
No, thank you for the business you've given us, and thank you for having been a friend too for so long. So from
So we probably got a little bit off topic, but hopefully this was a nice insight into how Crema Pro came about. It's been really nice.
Thank you.
If you got a question for myself or Manfred, let me know in the comments below. And like always, if this video has brought you value, hit that thumbs up. If you haven't yet, please subscribe. And lastly, once again, thank you, Manfred.
Thank you, Pedro. Thank you.
I really appreciate it.